I have to share how beautiful of a jalapeno flower this is with the purple tips. So much nicer than the all white ones. But yeah, I'm back out in the garden because I have some pruning I have to do on the tomato plant. I've got these leaves that I am snipping down to allow more light to get into this bottom growth. So if a leaf is blocking the growth underneath it, I'm not cutting it all the way off, but I'm snipping it either in half or 3/4, 2/3, about that. And like I did here and on the other side. No, there's nothing really growing. I'm also laying it flat on the ground underneath where nothing is growing, but I did notice a whole lot of new growth. And that this over here was not getting sufficient light to grow. So I'm just pruning back the leaves. I already did this one a little bit. Just enough to allow the light to filter in and help them grow a little better. And I'll show you what this one, show you with this one over here. Now, I'm just going in and I'm finding where it's coming into contact and blocking. And I'm taking my finger and my thumb right at the leaf basin and I'm using my nail to snip it. And I'm not doing it to all of them, but I'm just doing it to the ones that need it done. This allows more light to penetrate, and little new growths like this from the bottom can continue to grow because they're getting more light. Also, by pruning your plant, you allow it to grow more because the roots are supporting all the leaves that are on the plant. And by snipping them off, the ones that you don't need, you're allowing those roots to send that nutrient to the stalk to put out more growth. So you're letting the light into the bottom so the branches can grow better, and you're also allowing for a lot more new growth, which also includes a lot more flowers. So I don't know if I can zoom in enough, but right over here on this little bit that I'm trying to get the light on, there is flowers starting. So I will keep you posted on how this all does. And by putting the leaves that you prune off, as long as there's no fungus or anything on them, down on the ground, if you're not using a container garden, it stops the weeds from coming up, and as they break down, it feeds the soil. And by feeding the soil, you feed your plant, and you don't have to use a chemical fertilizer. So as soon as I get rid of these little buggies that have been eating this, I will be 100% set. I've also rotated the tomato plant so that the lower branches are exposed to where the most sun is, allowing them to get more sunlight as well. So instead of facing the building, my back is to the building right now. But other than that, we're doing good. I found one aphid on one of the plants and I pinched it off. And I have tons and tons of tomato flowers all of a sudden. There we go. That is what an aphid looks like. And I missed that one because I was trying to do it on camera, but it's gone. Beans. Not much happening. But the mystery plant that we grew in the house while I was at work today, my father-in-law trimmed off one of the branches. In fact, the taller branch. His idea behind it was one that I was contemplating. The roots are having a hard time supporting it since I transplanted, as you can tell by all the wilting leaves. And this branch, not only was it smaller, but it had more new growth on it. So he took off that branch to allow the roots to send all their nutrients up this one. So we'll see how that... Now let's go over here to the cucumber. It's been an on again, off again battle with two of my cucumbers. And right now, it looks as though we are off again. But on the main one, I've got lots of new growth. It's setting out its grabbers, and hopefully I'll get some cucumbers pretty soon. But yeah, the cilantro is starting to kind of look like celery in the way that it's coming up. The mint is growing around the edge of the container. The basil we've been picking for dinner. My hubby's using it to cook. Yeah, I love my husband. He cooks wonderfully. And the dill is still just the dill. But yeah, it's not that bad of a garden this year. And my daughter is being funny. You just landed in your garden. She's hyper. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, and remember that tiny itty bitty jalapeno? Well, it's almost the size of my fingertip. And the ones that I pollinated the other day, they are now the tiny itty bitty ones. It's a wonderful day.